Alright, things are good to go. So let's quickly just move. I feel so nervous about using this deck stuff. Wait, hold on. Close. Not a grey mouse stream unless I have to switch something at the last minute. Hello all, I hope you're all doing well. And you'll also know I've made a few pretty big changes. So first off, well, also probably the first thing you'll notice about me is I've got a really croaky voice. It's because I'm sick. I caught a flu or something like that. And fun. But yeah, so this is going to be a real slow stream. Basically, going to take it real easy. Because yeah, I'm still a little unwell. But I also really wanted to test out my loupedeck on stream, so I'm very excited about that. Basically, everything other than the pen, what you see the pen doing, I'm controlling with my loupedeck, which is basically an Elgato stream deck, but it's a little more. I guess it's more complicated because it's got dials, and I was going to get an Elgato, but I wanted something with dials so that I could control pen size and opacity and things like that. But yeah, I love it. It's so cool. It's such a cool piece of kit, and I love that I've added it to my setup. And I control the zoom and stuff like that with it. Ah, flat colors back on. Yeah. Taking a bit of time to get used to, of course. But it's yeah, super. And I don't think I'd go back to my old system. That felt quite inaccurate. This is a bit fiddly, but it feels more accurate and more precise. Because I'm no longer using a button, I'm using dials to control brush size. So as a result, I feel like I'm getting the right brush size every single time, as opposed to having to kind of search around and gauge the size, which did frustrate me a little bit. So yeah, it's super cool. Second new thing, you'll notice that the chat is now gone on my stream overlay. That's just because you can see the chat on the side. It doesn't make sense for you to... well, it didn't make sense to me to keep the chat there, just because it just takes up real estate on the screen, whereas I could put a references tab there, and now we can see the references that I use for my characters and my locations, which I thought would be much more interesting to look at. And also, it means that I'll have the references up, so I'm actually looking at stuff that pertains to my characters. Which I think is really cool. And just another reason why I really like this system, this new system. And I also can control my stream setup as well, which is really useful. So basically switching between screens and things like that, I did that all in on the loupedeck, which is super convenient, and I'm not having to slide my mouse across like 3 different screens just to get my stream like set up and going. And now I also just sit in a corner and look every so often at my OBS and stuff like that, but I now don't really have to worry about it, which I love. I'm not really a review channel, but like if I were to review it, I think the loupedeck is the perfect kind of stream overlay, streaming tool for illustrators and for artists, because again, it has those dials and it's far more versatile than the Elgato system. So I would wholeheartedly recommend it to streamers, or art streamers at the very least. And I can just focus on the art, which is perfect. Because I just want to learn and develop and get better. And if I'm having to constantly go back to OBS and Twitch and make sure that everything's working and online, then I'm not focusing 100% on the drawing aspect. I did all of them. Cool. Then I have to go back and do those dogs. Then I have to go back and fill in the shade for the dogs. They're not good, but fine. Sick. My brain won't work properly, and for those of you who've been on the stream before, you know very well it doesn't work to begin with. It doesn't work very well at all. Hey, Linus, what are those? They're bees. They're bee plushies. They're just sitting up. They're on their butts. How you doing, Linus? As you can tell by the sound of my voice, I'm very sick. Very fluey. Which ain't fun. How are you? I thought it was sausage in potato. That's a fair concept. Take care, my bro. I'm doing what I can. I basically I took the weekend off. I didn't go out and do anything. I just stayed home and wrote or drew or did stuff like that. I made sure I didn't exert myself. But yeah, still a bit yucky. So I'll do my best not to expose you guys to just the yucky sounds and stuff. I'm thinking I'll be more litigious with my shadows as well. I feel like they're just not enough shadows, or not enough defining shadows. Anyway, you've been looking at a new place. Gonna try to move out with the current host family's son. Ah, good on you. Good on you. I wish you all the luck. And I assume you're looking for places in Canberra and stuff, of course. That sounds good. I don't know how the rental market is in Canberra currently, but I wish you all the luck. I know it took me a while to find a place, but I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. Yeah, I noticed that I didn't do the wood grain yet, which is fine. It's just lines. Okay, easy. He's buying one and you will rent from him. Ah, okay, cool. Nice. Then in that case, you got it real nice and easy, which is good. Real good peace of mind, that, honestly. That should be real good as well, getting a place of your own, kind of. You know, as far as rentals go. But it's like a nice place for you to just have your own space and stuff, which is excellent. Hey, Zombie Slayer! Holy shit, it's Lord Greymass. Oh, Sir Lord Greymass, for it has been far too long since we saw you. We thought you had been banished to the Shadow Realm for all of eternity, but none have ever been recorded to survive such horrors. But no, not you. You are of the blessed holy ones, of course. You'd survive such atrocities. Welcome back to your home, my lord. Thank you. I feel so welcome and well. I feel so well received. So thank you so much. Yes, I am back. I'm still not completely well. How is it, gamer? I'm still not completely well. As you can tell from my voice, I'm snotty and a bit croaky, but I definitely wanted to do some streaming, so I'm back. I'm a little better though. I definitely feel much better. I think Saturday I woke up feeling like absolute shit. So I was just like, cool. I'm just gonna spend that day just taking a day, and then today I wanted to come back and stream, so I am streaming. It's going to be a little bit slower than usual, but it's going to be a stream. Yeah, lots to consider. He has certain budget, but want a yard, enough space for a new small dog. Oh, lovely. That sounds really cool. That sounds really lovely. I'm excited for you, Linus. That sounds like a good time. And also, dogs, man, the best. I can't have pets at my place, so I don't have any pets. But I do love dogs. Was it one of those days when you're like, holy fuck, I forgot how nice it is to feel normal? I always feel like that when I get the sickies. Yeah, oh yeah. Absolutely. One thing as well for me is that I realized that one of the telltale signs that I'm sick is that I sleep really well. And I woke up that morning being like, holy shit, I slept really, really well. Like, I slept really well, but like noticeably well. And I was like, I'm sick. I'm probably really sick. Um, and so as a result, I was like, I'm just going to take it real simple, real slow. Also, just like as a point, I have insomnia. And I have had insomnia for quite a long time. So that's why when I have a good sleep, I know that I'm unwell. Yeah. You like it even more when my raspy voice is saying your name. Jesus Christ, you guys. I mean, I'm flattered, of course, but y'all love my voice, which is flattering, of course. So you woke up and you're like, fuck, I'm sick. Yeah, exactly. I woke up and I was like, no, I feel rested, but also exhausted. Fuck this. I'm just sick. Just straight up so sick. And I was. And I did have like plans and stuff for the weekend, but I was like, I got to do the responsible thing. Told the people that I had plans with, hey, I'm just unwell. You know, can we just postpone or whatever? And everyone was very understanding, but yeah, just, just unwell. Just a sick mouse. I go through my coffee so quickly. I brewed up a nice batch before I started streaming, and now I'm looking at, there's maybe a fourth left, a quarter left, and I'm just like, fuck, I wish I had more coffee. It's just tragic. Tragique. But I'm sure I will be better soon. I'm at that point where I know I'm sick, but I'm also like I can tell I'm recovering at this point. So it's good. I could go back to work stuff. I've also applied for the leave, not leave, the compressed hours. So it'll be happening soon enough, but I will be taking Mondays off work and I'll be working full time on the comic. So there will be streams coming up that will be all day. Like they'll start from 8 in the morning and go till when I usually finish at like 10 or 9 in the evening, which I'm very much looking forward to. Should be a lot of fun. Especially with this new cool loupedeck. Gotta also remind myself that the zoom is now on a toggle. Not toggle, a dial on the loupedeck, so I'm not moving my hand to the keyboard to zoom. I hope you get better, as a raspy voice does hurt. However, the raspy voice is pretty hot, so yeah, do what you will with that information. I mean, I'm flattered, but for me, I find that the raspy voice is like, it doesn't hurt, which is great, but I'm like, this is the most annoying I've ever sounded myself. But hey, if it does it for you guys, good on you. Yeah. All right, it's that space. Kinda done, mostly done. There's a few little things, but yeah. I really just shade her neck and none of her face. Holy fuck, I'm an idiot. You guys put up with watching me. Making mistakes like that. One issue though, is that the shift. Oh, Jesus, wrong one. Again, learning. I don't have a shift button on the loop deck, so I have to reach my hand across anytime I want to draw straight lines. Uh, and it's because I haven't programmed it. It's not loop deck's fault, it's mine. It's my own fault. I haven't programmed something like that. And on this stream, I'm going to be saying loop deck a lot because I'm really excited and happy with this thing, with this machine. If they want to sponsor me, let me know. Be more than happy to. But that is a joke, of course. For legal purposes, that is a joke. But if they ever feel like it, real cheap. But that's on an angle. But it was also pretty cool because so my friend who's a composer and a really nice guy, you know, composer first, nice guy second. No, he's an amazing composer. He's currently working on music for the Beanstalk Brigade for this comic, and he recently got back to me with his first draft, or like his draft of Ratchet's theme, and it sounds so good, like genuinely so good. It's amazing. Um, and I'm so happy with it and impressed with it. I've been actually like listening to it every few hours. I would just like open up the song and play it, and I'm just like, this is the best. This is exactly like what I envisioned, but better because it's done by an actual composer who knows what they're doing, not some dingus who's listened to a few game songs and been like, yes, this is what my character is like. So good. So I'm really excited to show you all because that'll be in content that I release as well going forward. Because I'm working on a stream trailer as well. So there will be one coming out and that'll have all the music in it, along with explanations to what the story is and story beats and aspects of it. And probably like how people can get involved and things like that. Maybe a little bit of an explanation of the Discord and things like that, or the stream itself. But yeah, mostly story stuff. But if you want to check out my composer, I can't believe I'm saying that. If you want to check out the composer that's working on this stuff, I have a link in my about page. His name's Mike. He's great. He's the best. Just absolutely amazing composer. Hold I really love the little loops and stuff. And just you guys wait because they'll actually be useful. Like not useful, sorry, wrong word. Story wise, like they have an importance. Just like Uzumaki, if anybody's read that. And I realized I didn't give her pupil color. Okay, but like, how will you do music for a comic? I mostly kind of wanted to do the music just for like promotional stuff. And also like, eventually it'll be in my streaming screens and stuff like that. But I was kind of just like, I would really love music that was just for like the comic and it belonged to me and stuff like that because I love the idea that there was music that is purely Ratchet's or purely based on Ratchet or the Beanstalk Brigade or anything like that. That really like appealed to me. It's a sick idea. Yeah, well, guess what? I'm sick. So I'm having a lot of them. But yeah, I love the idea of that, and I've had a friend who is a composer, and I've known him for years, and I've always really wanted to hire him for work and stuff like that. So I just took the plunge and asked him. He was totally more than happy to do that, and so happy about it. And if you want to know what you were talking about with blinking through gates, you sent 2 videos of it on Discord. Quite late, yes, but they are there. Cool. I will check them out at some point. Then that's maybe a little too green. I don't know if I should just give it green eyes, wearing green clothes. It, fuck it. It'll it'll be fine. All right. Back to shadows. We're supposed to be doing shadows. Okay, cool. I quickly just drew something because I wanted to check if you guys could hear the just. So if you listen closely, which you probably can't hear anyway, but there's this ever so subtle just, and that's from the loupedeck, so it actually has like tactile response to me pushing buttons and stuff, and I love it. But I also was just listening just to make sure it couldn't be heard on stream because that could be kind of annoying for some people. It would be, yeah, just a little. It would be a bit weird and fairly annoying. I like it, but I wouldn't just condemn others to have to listen to it. It's because I enjoy it. But I also get like the response as well. I get like the little vibration as I touch the button. So I'm just like, so I do fully understand. Like it would be kind of annoying for other people without that kind of tactile response. It's just a noise. Yell. But yeah, I've also like I've jumping all the way back to me taking Mondays off work to work on my comic and stuff. It's because I realized I do want to get chapters done sooner. And I even though there's no deadline for me, like I would rather I was making more consistent or noticeable progress. Because I want to like release chapters and stuff. Then everyone can be like, "Oh, have you read chapter 3? You know, now we know who Ratchet is, or you know, or now we know what Ratchet's doing." and stuff like that. Or, eventually people will be like, oh, have you read chapter 15? Who expected that to happen? Who would have thought Ratchet actually turns out to be a criminal? Or, something along those lines. A killer. Again, trying not to spoil anything. Weird staticky sound is there. Ah, damn it. That is, and now it's gone. That's super weird. It's just a weird, every, Jesus Christ, no, that was correct. Every so often, it's a weird staticky thing. Don't know what that is. I'm still working on getting a new XLR cable, and I feel like that might help. But if it's a bitrate thing, then I can't do anything about that. I know Loki theorized that it was a bitrate thing, but that I can't do anything about, really. So I hope it's something I can actually do something about, because who wants static? About to play Spider-Man PS4, which my god is so fun. I don't doubt you. I've wanted to play it for ages. I don't actually have. Wait a second. I do have a PS4 now. Oh shit! I could get Spider-Man. Shit, yeah. Such a shame. I don't play video games too often anymore, and I definitely don't play them on my in my main room anymore, like on my TV. You very much recommend it? I'll keep that in mind. For sure then. I would like to actually spend more time in my main room, but because my office has everything I need, I don't really go to my main room anymore. Can you say your favorite part of it? Absolutely. I don't mind being spoiled as well. If it's for Spider-Man, I don't mind. Is your favorite part of it that we have a Discord? I'll get used to that one day, but I always find it so fucking weird seeing that notification pop up. I'm just like, I fucking made a Discord. Something I never expected to do until I started streaming. Since it's an open world, you have fast travel, and it's cool since it's thematic that Spider-Man rides the subway. But this game is so fun, you've only fast traveled about 3 times in your playthrough, since swinging around and running up walls as Spider-Man is so goddamn fun, so you rarely fast travel. That's super cool. If it was taken out of the game, I wouldn't care in the slightest bit. Yeah, that's fair. Because let's be honest, Spider-Man is just he's a character you enjoy being and running around as, and the swinging that's such a huge part of what his character is just, when it's done well, it's just so good. So I fully get that. So thinking, trying to remember something about, because I was trying to remember fast travel in other games that I don't use for whatever reason. you've played it twice before, but you're playing it again. Even before in your previous playthroughs, you didn't really fast travel. Yeah, you rarely fast travel. That's super fair. I know like the most of the Arkham games don't have fast travel. The only one that does is um, Origins, and that's because they tried to. Well, they made the whole of Gotham City, but then Arkham Knight came out, and Arkham Knight you get the Batmobile. So it's like you never need to fast travel because you've got this fucking awesome car. Or if you don't have your car, then you just fly or glide, and it's like the gliding in Batman is just so good. So you don't ever need to do it. Sorry about that, just muted to cough. Uh, you can't think of any game where you don't fast travel. In something like Skyrim or Fallout, you just want to get to your objective. Yeah, exactly. Um, no, that's super fair, and I do the same. It's too big. The world, those two worlds are too big, and I think one of the distinctions, especially with Spider-Man, is that your mode of travel is just so fun. So you don't want to like fast travel, and don't really need to either. I'm trying to think. Uh, Assassin's Creed, Black Flag is also kind of like that, where you don't feel the need to fast travel because the sailing is so good. And your character is just a normal human in something such as Fallout, so you can only run at a brisk pace. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. Just trying to think. And yeah, because there are so few games where you don't feel the need to fast travel, especially if they're big games. You need to play Black Flag. You want to so much since the sailors sing sea shanties. So when you play, you're never fast traveling in that game either. Yeah, no, and there's so much to collect in that game, and there's so much to like. There are little islands scattered throughout the area, so you never really feel the need. I never feel the need to fast travel unless it's to places like Nassau or like the main uh, areas that I've been to like 100 times. And sometimes I will just like fast travel to the main areas and then sail out from there. Correction, there's so much to collect in all AC games, but point taken. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You get it. You get it. Never a need to fast travel because there's stuff you haven't picked up yet. Fuck. That's how that song started or ended? Jesus, that was weird. For those of you watching, uh, after the stream, guess what? You're not gonna know what song that was that weirded me the fuck out. Watch me live. I am slowly moving the archived streams and stuff across to a YouTube. I've kept most of the videos private though, because I just haven't been bothered to change that. One thing I found is that people actually do like watching the VODs, which I found surprising. You're the 1% of knowing what songs are being played during stream. Yeah, exactly. That's part of the joy of coming to the stream live. You get to hear the songs that I'm talking about or remarking about being weirded out by. Almost you forgot, is the last Dead Space VOD still available? I saw it's not there anymore. Yeah, so they get deleted off every few, like after a certain amount of days. You wanted to watch more of it, but you're stupid and forgot about it. Don't worry about that because I have saved it. I have saved it, and there's a YouTube channel that YouTube channel called Grey Mouse VODs, Grey Mouse underscore VODs. Oh no, Grey Mouse underscore archives, which I will actually link into the channel and stuff like that. But I've been saving the VODs and stuff, so you don't have to worry about missing anything. I just have it all set to private because I wanted to just build up a bit of a stockpile before I released that stuff. Oh, good lord, yes. Crisis averted. Small heart attack prevented. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I didn't want my stuff. I didn't want those videos deleted anyway, you know. I don't want Twitch taking my good shit. You're all good. That makes it look like she's got a broken wrist. That's not much better. Apologies for that. Muted again. Is it like you want to have a bunch of content there to show to people instead of people waiting for VODs? Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. I also didn't want to just have an archives page or archives channel that had like 3 videos on it. Because not really much of an archive then. It's so cliche to say, but this game makes you feel like Spider-Man and you love it. Hey, well, that was the intention. Surely, that was their intention. They want you to feel like Spider-Man. I'm glad. I mean, it won't do. Make it do. Means they made a good game. Feel like Spider-Man. It's a good thing. feel like Batman every time I've played the Arkham game. Doing a good job. Something you love is that if an enemy doesn't know you're there, you can tap them. You can one tap them. But if they are aware of your presence, it'll make more than it'll take more than 3 hits to take them down. That makes a lot of sense, since if they know where you are, they'll put up a fight. But if they don't see you coming, of course, you could one tap them. Yeah, exactly. Mouse, do you know how Arkham Asylum punished people who pirated the game? I have a vague recollection of it. I know they did something fucking wild. Uh, but if you could remind me, that'd be excellent. It was during that era where, like, punishments for piracy were more prevalent. Wasn't it like it basically. Oh, yeah, it took away the ability to use the bat cape, of which is necessary for some areas, trophies / challenges. Yes, now I remember. Yeah. Because my thought was like it either locked you out of an area or it took away an ability. Yeah. That's great. That's a great punishment. Just buy the game. Yeah, buy it. Great, it deserves your money. Deserves your cash. Just be like, we won't stop you from playing the pirated version. Alright, gamers. Okay, thank God. Devs, maniacal laughter. Yes, exactly. Damn right. How dare they? How dare they pirate that game? It's a good way to punish people for pirating games. Yeah, exactly. It's so hard. Like, it's so hard to catch people. Stop it. Like, stop it from happening. But um, yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that they had a way to kind of add a humor to it. I mean, not for the pirate, but like, fuck them. They don't deserve good humor and fun. They get what they deserve. Aiming to be just a little bit more ruthless with shadows and stuff. Just adding more. I'm learning. Still, like, even though I've been doing art for years, always still learning. I like to say I'm just still learning, honest. By the time this comic is finished, I'll be, like, exponentially better at drawing than when I started. So it'll be really funny to see the new art, and then look back on the old stuff. Was it me that said I'll always hate games when games uh oh yeah, when games put you in an area with limited oxygen slash food slash water? Probably. I so like I don't so limited food and water, that's fine, it just stresses me out. Limited oxygen I don't like. If I'm in spaces with limited oxygen, then it stresses me out too much. And Dead Space was fine, but it got to points where I was starting to get like stressed about air. So yeah, that was me. That was definitely me. I think compared it to Dead Space, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's definitely me then. Dead Space does it well, but it is still stressful. And if it means anything to me, there are cheats for Dead Space. One is unlimited oxygen, so if you use cheats, then use those. Okay, I'll keep it in mind. I think I should be okay. I'd rather just accept it and deal, stress through it. Yeah, I want to play the game as the devs intended, even if it scares me, even if it stresses me out. That's my intention, anyhow. Okay, color, belt, but you know. Wrong. There. Any artist. If we do a movie night for Discord, when will that be? Eh, some point. Some point when I figure out the logistics of it, and also when I have time, I would say. But maybe if we do like a full day streaming, we could always probably do movie nights after. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, so I'd say like maybe at the end of the long Monday streams, since those would be happening only like every 2 weeks. So we could always do something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, that sounds cool, Litty. But Yeah, I'll do it that way then. Then it gives people a chance to just, you know, the Mondays, since I'll be starting early and then going till late, that'll probably be the period of time where we get, the most, like, the different amounts of people jumping into stream and out of stream at different times and from different areas. So we gather up an audience and we can go, there you go. We got a movie night. We got a movie night tonight. So got time, jump in. Then we slowly make this community worldwide through movies. You'll watch whatever, you guess. Fair enough. Yeah, I think we're doing the Dead Space like stuff at some point. And then we'll start watching movies and stuff. Movies and shit. This woman done? I do need to add highlights, but I should really just finish the shadows, and I can go on to highlights. As a normal illustrator do. I ain't nothing close to normal. Right. I need to do wood grain on stands behind, and then I could probably start on highlights. Yeah, like I said, this is going to be a real slow stream. That's okay. Chill, keep thinking about it. I've also been doing quite a bit of like going back through the previous pages, either to look at stuff or to get references to stuff or things like that, but mostly to like add little boosts and improvements. So specifically because then as a result, when the chapters are released, they'll be ever so slightly different from how they were recorded or how they looked when I was streaming, how they looked during the recording. So there will be little things, little additions added for everyone's viewing pleasure. And maybe even potentially secrets that people learn about and then become very aware of. Mouse, what's something in gaming that I love? Ooh, boob physics. No, I'm joking. Well, am I? Something that I love in games. Actually, this one's going to be I think this one's going to be kind of unique. One thing I actually do really enjoy in games, and I feel like I've never heard anyone agree with me, but I love the calm before the storm in some games. So, like the saying, like the calm before the storm, it's like in games where there are moments where you can kind of just like walk around and explore, and talk to people and get to grips with things before like shit goes down. Man's really said, I'm joking. Wait, am I? Of course. This place, this grey mass stream is completely serious, except for when it's not. No, so like I really enjoy the calm before the storm moments. I'm trying to think of an example to explain it, but basically before shit goes down. I know, in Heavy Rain, the bit where you're just in the shopping, well, when you're enjoying a day in the life of Ethan Winters. Ethan Winters? I don't know. is the guy, the main character, enjoying just a day in his life, and then everything goes to shit. What's Heavy Rain? Heavy Rain's a uh, basically an interactive story game about Ethan Winters. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, fuck, I'm an idiot. But sorry. But with that said, the start of Resident Evil 8 is also a good example of that. That calm before shit goes sideways. You're just at home enjoying dinner with your wife. I like that. Those are my favorite bits in games. Well, not my favorite bits. Those are things that I love. Games. Good story writing, of course, also I adore. I really like a well-written story. Could be like Undertale, ugly, but a good story, and then I'll adore it. Pretty good answer. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like that. Like these moments of calm that give the game just a depth. Can you notice the calm before the storm? Usually, yeah. Because you're kind of just, you're left to kind of sit in the world. And it's like, I think for some people, they're like, why hasn't the game like started and stuff like that? Whereas I'm just like, I really like this bit where I can sit and watch my wife stir food in a pot and put my baby to bed. And everything's nice. I like that. I'm literally doing that now. We're currently in a section in the comic where we're in the calm before the storm. So I'm prone to it. Very prone to making calms before. Oh, wrong thing. But yeah, I think that would be my answer. Yeah, I do like just the calms. Whenever you hear we'll get married and then we go back home, or you're now my best friend, I think, yep, they're going to die or something. Oh god, yeah. Absolutely. If it's like we're gonna go home, they're not going home. Never. Well, they could go back home, just not while breathing. Yeah, they could go home, just in a body bag or in a little urn. Yeah, classic just story writing tropes. Not even game tropes, just story writing tropes. Where a character says, "Oh yeah, like I can't wait to go home," or you know, "I trust you," or whatever. They wants to die. And I never say that tropes are overused or bad. Tropes are natural story writing aspects, but if you can recognize a trope, then you're in trouble. If a trope is like blatantly obvious, then you're in a bit of trouble. Ugh, sorry, making icky noises because I'm icky. Oh, fuck. Can't do my gremlin voice, really. Sounds better. It sounds more gremlin-y, but I will just lose my voice. So I gotta savor it, sample it. Yeah. Alright, but I'm on to highlights now. Got a new layer button. No, that's What's it? Highlights. This may take a bit. Fucking Christ. Okay. Fucking. Bumps. It's a lemon. Gotta have lemon divots. Well, I love having to find the date of when the game happens. In Dead Space, there's a poster for something that says coming May 1st. Since it's there, you know that Dead Space 1 happens at least before May 1st. In games where they just tell you the date, don't like that, but it makes sense. Rather have to go find the date of this game throughout the playthrough, though. Yeah, because it's like in real life, no one is gonna just outwardly tell you the date unless you ask. So it's weird that they constantly explain it to you in games. With the exception, of course, that some games there's no avoiding it. But yeah, I agree. It is cool. Have the date in the game. Ah, and I just realized there's something in the shadows that I haven't added. Trees and clouds. Well, probably just trees, because we probably can't see clouds from here. At a weird moment where I like looked to my window and was like, did I leave my blinds open? And I'm like, oh wait, no, of course I didn't. Warm. Yes, the Skyrim music. Freedom or Sovngarde. Very good stuff. Very good. Perfect for this current setting. Just calm space. Victory. Victory or Sovngarde, yes. All good things. Sort of. Oh, there we go. shadows to make. We ain't leaving till we got these shadows made. Okay, so that's the only space. See stuff. That makes sense. CS. Vector. A point about law, just because a universe has immensely complicated law doesn't necessarily make it cool better. So complicated, most people won't know what's happening. Examples are Bioshock being in COD Zombies, and that's a whole mess. Yeah. I enjoyed Bioshock Infinite for its gameplay. I did not enjoy it for gameplay and world building. I did not know the story. I definitely found the story a bit. I will admit. Infinite is meh, in your opinion? Yeah. Yeah, it's alright. It's fine. Not great, but it's fine. I think. Mouse, for some reason I'm cutting out. He's saying something, but it's only part of it for some reason. I am a bit far away from the mic. Can you hear me now? It may also be just because my voice is all just eh. That might sound like it, but I may also be mumbling. Yeah, you can hear me now. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it might just be because I'm mumbling a little bit. Muttering shit. Infinite's gameplay is also pretty weak, in your opinion. In 1 and 2, you had 8 different weapons, alternate ammo types, but Infinite gives you the basic 2010 shooter mechanic of only carrying 2 weapons, and for some reason, they took out alternative ammo types. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty meh, I will admit. Too, since you can have both a weapon and a plasmid out at the same time, it's one of the biggest reasons for it being your favorite of the testing. And I know a lot of people give 2 a lot of shit for its story, but it's just like none of them have that great of a story, really. Well, one story is memorable and famous and pop culture, like significant, but yeah, I don't know. And definitely not to throw shade. I just think, personally, it's not one of my top tier. Definitely not that it's bad though. Still very good. People say shit on 2 story. Yeah, that's all I've heard about 2. That 2's story is meh. It's meh. Surely that's not new to you. That's maybe too pink. That's not his face. Oh Jesus. I wonder how many people didn't see the plot twist of 1 with Andrew Ryan and your character. It's a good plot twist, but very subtly done. Yeah, yeah, it's quite good. And it's really cool that they managed to like hold that secret for so long in game, because like, fuck, it's hard to do to like deliver a twist that well. No, this ain't it. Yeah, there we go. Nah. And because of that, some people don't realize how good one story is, and then people shit on two. Two story is great, and that's it. You're a fucking big daddy. What more do you want? I mean, that's not story though, is it? You're just a big, like, oh, you're a big daddy. I mean, sure, but what else? What else? What else has it got going for? Eh. Good point. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I mean, I'm joking. I've never even played. I've never played two. I've heard that people didn't like it for whatever reasons. I don't give a shit. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if they didn't enjoy it, they didn't enjoy it. I haven't played it. I have no opinions on it. But also, yeah, it's just like you gotta sell more to me than just because you're just a big daddy. Well, you are a big daddy. It's like cool, but like, what if I was not? Yes. You despise the Burial at Sea DLC for Infinite for several reasons. Oh well, you want to air them out now? I'd be happy to listen. I've not played Burial at Sea either, so I have no judgment at all on it. But feel free to. I don't know if you can. Oh, okay. Then don't. I'm not going to force you either way. I will not force your hand. But if you want to, yeah, I will listen. Uh, really? DLC makes two not canon and it muddies the water as to what's canon in one. That's annoying. That's super annoying. I agree with you there then. That sounds super dumb. Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, just fuck that. That's such a pain in the ass. To be honest, you haven't seen any articles about it, but you've heard it from several Bioshock lore nerds, so you trust what they say. Fair enough, they are the most honest. They're good. They're a good sort. Bioshock nerds. And of course, in this stream, we say the term nerds with absolute love and admiration. Nerd and gamer are all loving terms here. Except Dishonored nerds, fucking dorks. Yeah, fair. Good point, well presented. Too light. Mouse, what do you think gaming needs more slash less of? Oh, it needs definitely needs more games that focus on just a decent story. I think stories that actually put a great deal of effort into a good story, I think are tip top. I think currently gaming needs more games that actually put effort, like effort into making games better into it. So often we've had games that are unfinished be released to the zeitgeist, and then as a result we've had a real downward spiral of games lately. Less loot boxes, less uh, profit driven game design, I think. And actually, you know what? I think gaming needs more two-player co-op games, like couch co-op games. I think that should be more popular. Or not more popular, but more um, common. Because like It Takes Two is the first like two-player co-op game to come out in a while. You know, not including games like A Way Out and things like that. Hey, uh, MC, how you doing? Hydrate? I'm more than happy to do that, actually. You're gonna make the game expensive as fuck, then give me more content. Don't make me fuck. Don't make me fucking. Don't make it fucking $60 and it's a basic single player game. Very fair. I 100% agree. Make the game worth the money. I honestly would not want to play a game that, you know, cost $80 and has like, I mean, has less than or equivalent to 10 hours of gameplay. I want a big meaty game for $80. I also wouldn't mind a few more games that like were self-contained as well. So not even like a criticism of games that aren't self-contained, but like I'd love more games to, if even if they're part of a series, it still is approachable. People new to the series. You know, Yakuza had a real big problem in that so many of their games weren't self-contained for such a long time that you couldn't jump into Yakuza without having played the first Yakuza, and then the second, and then the third, you know, which were games that came out many years ago, and as a result, outdated in terms of graphics and gameplay and things like that. That's why you haven't played the Dead Space remake. Yes, you're a simp for Dead Space, and a proud one at that, but it's like $70. Good Lord in heaven. Yeah, that's fair. No, I fully agree. I haven't played it yet either. I only just finished the original. So Probs won't be playing it anytime soon. Unless it goes on sale. Then we'll see. No, that's okay. Yeah, series like AC or Halo, sure. They are good, not as much now, but if you want to understand what's happening, you have to go all the way fuck back. Yeah, exactly. If you want to understand any of the Abstergo Animus stuff, then you have to go back, way, way back. Yeah. That sometimes just doesn't feel worth it. That's what if you're being honest, some people out there should stop buying games every year. I obviously can't tell people how to spend their money, but the thought of people buying the new CODs gives you a weird feeling. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you get enjoyment from it, that's great, but like, yeah, a new COD or a new FIFA comes out every single year and there's incremental change, and you're only encouraging them by buying more, like buying each of them. And I don't want to be that guy, but like FIFA 2006 is just as good as FIFA 2023. Sorry, hot take there, but like you're playing football. You just need a good football simulator. It doesn't need to be complicated or made incrementally complicated. That's all it is. There we go. Save that. Back up. You know what I can highlight next. Sorry. So sorry. Just sniffling into the mic. You hate to be the unelitist, like I play old school games or whatever, but fucking stop playing games that have no difference to them. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. It's just, ugh. Ugh. I mean, yeah, it's fine if you enjoy it, but just don't be pompous about it too. Oops, that's shadows. Slightest. Say another hot take. The FIFA one is pretty fucking true. I don't know many hot takes. It's like it's so complicated to equate a hot take nowadays because I feel with the internet, it's so easy to find people who agree with you. Let me think. Let me think. Ugh. Don't know. I don't know. I got flu brain, so I'll say hot takes when they occur to me, but they may never occur to me. Actually, for people who say that Dark Souls and like From Software games are too hard, I think most of those people don't know how to properly play a JRPG or an RPG, for that matter. In that Dark Souls can be made significantly easier if you play to RPG strengths, and upgrade your skills accordingly. Maybe not a hot take of mine, but if you're playing a single player game for the first time and skips cutscenes, that's abhorrently disgusting. That's fair. That I think is fair. And that kind of leads me on to not leads me onto another hot take, but I guess another Souls-like hot take. If you make a Souls-like game, so in quotation marks Souls-like, but don't make any attempt to make it like fair difficult, like difficult in a way that is fair, in which it's the staple of From Software games that they're difficult but they're fair. In how they're difficult, if you make a game that isn't fair in how it's difficult, so like the enemies just have way too much health, or have like insta-kill attacks that no matter what your health is, they just instantly kill you and are really hard to dodge, or anything like that, then you've not made a Souls-like game. Your game doesn't work. Oh, Mouse brought up Dark Souls. Okay, we just opened a few can of worms here, but I do agree. Go to YouTube guides, watch streamers, and how they play. Go to Reddit, there's some other forum, and ask for advice. After all, we are in an age of information, so to speak. Yeah, exactly. If any of the From Software games are too hard for you, then you don't know, like, just, like, if they're not your cup of tea, fair enough. Absolutely fine. But if you play the game and you're like, it's unplayable, it can't be beaten, then you don't know how to play an RPG unless it holds your hand. And I've had friends who have told me that in Dark Souls, enemies just appear like randomly and will attack you. Like you can't see them before they attack you. That's bullshit. Sorry, but it's just like no, they don't appear out of nowhere. They will have come from a area. They will have come from somewhere, and you just weren't paying attention to that area. Fine, happens all the time, but it's not the game's fault. Actually, and that also brings up another thing for me. It's not really games. It's really not game specific, but game streaming specific. I think one of the biggest problems with playing games, or streaming playing games and stuff like that, or YouTubers playing games, is that a great deal of the issues that they face in games can be avoided if they actually just looked up a little bit more. If they tilted the camera just a little bit up, because I find it so consistent that people playing games on YouTube their characters or their camera is always pointed like downwards, and as a result they miss stuff and they go, oh, they didn't provide me warning for that or whatever. It's like, you're just not being observant. Someone who's never played a From Software game, you respect the fuck out of the devs for making it so difficult. Don't make an easy mode. That cheapens the experience. That's like if Dead Space was made less scary to appeal to people who don't like horror games. Yeah, exactly. Hilariously, when Sekiro came out, they actually introduced a harder mode. Yeah, like they just aren't paying attention. Yeah, and that annoys me. It like sometimes I will start a stream, not a stream. I will start a YouTube series on someone playing a game that I like, and then they, as soon as they go like the camera starts to tilt down, or the camera is just tilted down. So I find that's the most consistent issue, is that their camera is pointed towards the ground, more so towards like the middle or the horizon. And I'll admit, I did this too. And it's such an easy thing to do, but I do find it frustrating to watch. And I don't want to be harsh, but I noticed Jacksepticeye does it a lot. In that he won't be very observant, and then he'll complain about the game like not being fair or not being, well, yeah, just not being fair or like being broken, and the issue was just that he wasn't paying attention. And it's like, it's fine. You're allowed to make mistakes and mess up, but it's just annoying when you're like angry about it and you don't really have a right to be. You watch some people play Halo and they for some reason don't pay attention to the fucking dialogue, of which there's also subtitles. That's really annoying. Yeah. I don't like people talking through um cutscenes. That's why when I stream games I don't talk. When I stream games I don't talk while there are cutscenes. Or I try not to. I just do that because I just think it's annoying. If some people are like seeing this game be played for the first time, like they've never seen someone do a playthrough of something, and you're just talking through cutscenes, unless you're doing a speed run. See the reason. Oh man, this loupedeck is so convenient. I can just mute myself whenever. Ah, so good. So good. I don't think I need to do the wood grain for the ducks, really. If people didn't understand something during their first play but went back to the game and did further research or what have you, then okay, you can understand since you've played it before. You have the scope of the universe. Yeah, and that's also something I need to recognize as well. If you've played through the game before and you're watching someone play through for the first time and you're finding yourself getting like annoyed because they're not doing it as well as you did it, then it's like that's not on them. You're comparing their progress to yours, and that's just not fair. But yeah, I can also recognize that it can become quite frustrating to watch. Don't go, but don't not go back to it and then just complain the story doesn't make sense when you didn't pay attention. Yeah, yeah, that's annoying. But games that are genuinely like frustrating. Like I enjoyed Code Vein for a while up until a point where you were facing a boss which was basically just like he could cross the arena in half a second and then would deal damage that would insta kill you, and it was just like this isn't fair. Like this isn't fair. And he had an everything proof shield, and you just stand and like you try and fight him, and you have to like survive for a certain point and then attack him. It's like this just isn't fair combat. It's not smart combat. It's not difficulty for the sake of difficulty. It's just being a dick and fucking you over. And it doesn't make the game enjoyable. It's just like a pain in the ass. That I don't like. Uh, oh, zoom. Sorry, I'm so sorry about being sick. Couldn't see it coming. We had like a bunch of events and stuff going on in Adelaide, and I think I went out to do some photography, and I must have caught something, and it's frustrating because it's just like I didn't see it coming. Everything proof. Oh god, my god, you hate that. Not sure if it's similar to Shadow of War, but that's sort of how it is. A high level enemy can be stealth proof, poison proof, counterattack proof. Yeah. Oh god, I remember that. Beast proof, stun proof, arrow proof, and so on. So you just have to hit this fucker a bunch of times for him to die. Yeah, exactly. And like if he was conversion proof as well, then it was just like it sucked because had a really good orc that you wanted to have on your side and stuff, and you couldn't because the game refused to let you. Actually, hold the phone. Just quickly add a shadow here. Separation between. Oop, that is another panel done. And these panels actually shouldn't be too complicated. Well, so hey, we might actually get this done. Let's see. Okay, maybe. Forced stealth missions can be banned from gaming and you'd be happier, that's for sure. Yeah, in games that don't have stealth as a main kind of mainstay, then yeah, fuck that. Oh, how I actually want this stuff to look. It looks well and good, currently. But I need it. Right, actually. Because I pretty much almost always just go into the drawing layer. Or no longer a draft layer. Same for QTEs, you hate them with every bone in your body. The one time a game did it right was Dead Space, since the QTEs only happen if an enemy grabs you. Just don't get close to an enemy and you'll be fine. Besides, you don't want them near you anyways. Yeah, exactly. Needless. I think QTEs had their time. And it was early 2000s. I think it's done. I think they're done, you know? Mouse, what would you call a game like God of War or Force Unleashed? No. Because they're like third person, third person. They're not even not fighting games. They're third person like uh word I'm even looking for. Jesus. Hack and slash. Yeah, hack and slash. Like man, jeez, brain is yeah going. Uh, what's it called? Dante's Inferno. Not like the new God of War. Yeah, hack and slash. I'd say that fits well. A Hunter's Dream. It's a Bloodborne song. Oh, wait, I'm giving shit away to people who don't watch live. fine. You ask because in Force Unleashed, there's a bunch of QTEs. It goes from here, play however you like, to boring QTEs. It ruins the pacing of the game. Since you're this nearly omnipotent god like being, and you pressed X when you should have pressed B, that's why you have died. You hate that. That sucks. Yeah, that does suck. That ain't cool. I'm not about that, honestly. Uh, if you died since you didn't get enough health in the previous area or haven't upgraded your character, then okay, fair. That would make sense. Yeah, but if you just die because you didn't press X or do a QTE right, that's... So I'm assuming you're not a huge fan of the Dark Pictures anthology stuff? I'm not either. If you aren't, of course, that is. Never played them, not even sure what they are. They're like... Hold on. They're like horror games. Some of them come across as really half-assed. Like, half-assed just game content. A lot of QTEs. If you've heard of Until Dawn, that was one of the... It's not technically classified as a Dark Pictures game, but made by the same people, and they always make the same shit over and over again. So and you loved Forced Unleashed from 1 and 2, but the QTEs ruined a lot of it for me. If they were taken out and then replaced with cutscenes, then you'd like them much more. That's fair. So with Until Dawn, it's different for you. Something like Force Unleashed, it goes from real cool combat and combos to very boring QTEs. But in Until Dawn, almost the whole game is QTEs, no cool combat, so you don't mind it. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough then. Good a reason as any. That's one of the rare cases you don't mind them. Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, done. Oh. color Z. There we go, flat colors. We got a few emphasizing panels, so just visual exposition panels, basically. Get a closer look at the crossbow, and then we'll get a closer look at the targets. And then we get a little bit of dialogue between Ratchet and Dogan. Then page 3 is done. Then we move on to page 4. How numbers work. Grey mouse. And I wouldn't want to draw this comic out of sequence, because that would be 1, confusing for all of you, 2, confusing for me, and also 3, I'm going to develop as an artist as I go, so I wouldn't want a page that looks like my earlier work next to a page that looks like my later work. So you'll get it in order, but there won't be any of the text. So you can read the comic chapter to chapter and learn what I've been drawing all this time, like what the story is behind it. So fun fact about Dead Space, in the Dead Space Aftermath movie, an engineer is playing Dante's Inferno on his holopad. Of course, Dante's Inferno and Dead Space were both made by Visceral, i.e. a game Visceral made is a playable game in one of the game universes. That's cool. That's super cool. I like that. I haven't played Dante's Inferno, but my brother played it a lot. One of those games we managed to get when we were young. Didn't tell our parents about how, like, visceral it was. And then by the time we started playing it, it was already too late. You know, get rid of it. Mouse, what dumb stuff have you heard about Dark Souls from people who don't know what they were doing? Well, one of the most egregious was someone said, you know, an enemy, a mob appeared out of nowhere and killed me, and it just showed up out of nowhere. It probably didn't. If you showed me where you got attacked, I could probably show you where it came from. Dark Souls is... Other things that I've heard is like Dark Souls is just unfair. Is like unfair hard, and it's like, it's not. Sekiro insults normal gamers because it has a hard mode when an easy mode was requested, and it's like, no, it makes fun of people who demand easy mode, like demand an easy mode. And here's the thing, what people don't realize is that Sekiro provided you with an easy mode. That's the only game in the From Software pantheon that actually has a pause button. A button that actually pauses. Like when you go to the menu screen, it pauses the game. The only one. What else? Elden Ring is just big Dark Souls? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Doesn't make it any less fun. What else? The community is bad. The community's not that bad, actually. The community is actually pretty great. There are a few bad apples that ruin it, but like statistically speaking, a good portion of them are actually quite supportive. Isn't magic / sorcery in From Software games easy mode? Only for, I would say only for Elden Ring. In 1, it was pretty balanced, and you're actually quite weak at the start. you end up being quite weak as a sorcerer because you progress linearly. So as a result, you're not that well off as a sorcerer. From what you said about From Software community, yes, some people are fucking awful people, but that's not everyone. Yeah, I think the vast majority is actually, they're actually quite good and lovely people. I have a story about playing through Dark Souls 3, and I summoned in some help for Dragon Slayer armor, and someone was playing Thanos, like the character, around about the time when Endgame was super popular, so I summoned Thanos in, and they were really helpful. Like, genuinely, I've never had a bad summon in game. From what you said about, oh, I know, I've read that silent majority trope. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I've heard people complain that the lore is well, the history or the lore of the Dark Souls games is dumb. And that's because it doesn't explain it to you. It doesn't baby you. Like, a big part of what makes From Software games so much harder is that it doesn't hold your hand. And people, and I've heard plenty of complaints about that. Oh, plenty of complaints that ignore the whole fact that it's just not holding your hand. And that can be, some people aren't that self-aware, I would say. Or some people fail to be self-aware enough to recognize that. Yeah. I've also heard people say that Elden Ring is too easy. So now no longer picking on people who are new to the game or find it too hard or stuff like that. But I've heard people say Elden Ring is too easy. It's not. It's a good balance of difficulty and approachability that actually allows for Elden Ring to be one of the more approachable games in the From Software series, which is great. You've heard that to find lore and such, you have to do quests and such correctly. And if that's a thing, to be honest, you don't like that, don't like lore and dialogue from me. I didn't say the right thing, but again, not a From Software fan. No, it doesn't do that. I think something that people find issue with From Software games is that most of the lore and history is hidden, not even hidden, but found in item descriptions. So you actually have to go looking for it. So, like, From Software kind of requires that you collect the gear and read stuff. And then a lot of what you can, that's not the worst thing. Yeah. And a lot of what you can gather from the games or from the lore itself is trickle down knowledge and history. So as a result, you actually get a second-hand account of history as opposed to a first-hand account. So you're being kind of systematically being lied to by the game. Or not lied to, you're being given very little information without bias, which makes sense in a world that is consumed by that kind of bias. Everyone has a story to tell in the world. And you just got to figure out who to side with. That's how it was with Shadow of War / Mordor. You have to learn about the extended lore from items, which, to be honest, does make sense. So if that's what it is, then okay, no big deal. And you like they did that, yeah, yeah. It's not terrible. It's a good way to do lore. Gives you reason to collect stuff that you maybe wouldn't use. You know, if you're not a wizard, then you're probably not going to use the like the staves and stuff, staffs and stuff. But you can read their history and learn about sorcerers of old, things like that, which is fun. Some people are just like, oh no, it's not good enough. I need it to be read to me by a big-titted sorcerer or whatever. It's like you draw the line at having to go to websites, articles, and interviews with devs to understand basic lore. Yeah, no, that's not okay. Yeah, I think that's a fair place to draw the line. I don't know if you're drinking ginger tea now. Oh, Linus, that does sound good. Uh, I might actually. Would anyone mind if I just quickly ducked off to make some tea? I might do the same. Probably good for you too. Oh yeah, absolutely. Ginger tea is great. Really good for you. I'll probably stay on for like another hour, give or take. I could probably make a quick tea. I've got a kettle that actually heats up, has like a speed heat option. I've got a really advanced, like technologically advanced kettle, which is super cool, and I love it. Best. I'll be right back. He's not fully ready yet, but I've ordered into the car. I might chat with you guys for a little while that brews. Do you think it's normal to have a kettle in the bedroom as well if you're a tea drinker? Absolutely. Like, where do you drink your most tea? Where do you drink most of your tea? Probably lying in bed reading a good book. That's fair enough. That's good enough. Like, no qualms there. Something you hate is people playing on the hardest difficulty. If it's their first time playing that game, if you've played it before or other games in the franchise, then play on whatever difficulty you like. But if you haven't and play on very hard, you won't appreciate the story or the art style or anything. You're just going to be confused the whole time. Yeah. I mean, completely, like, that's an individual thing for sure, completely up to whoever. But yeah, I think you would gather the best enjoyment from playing just on normal. I do agree with you there. Yeah. You want to have the most fun, play through it on normal first, and then you can do it for the challenge after. If you genuinely enjoyed the game, then you'll be back. You'll be back. Probably when you go to kitchen for breakfast and any time, but kind of need one if you want a lazy day just in your room, late night in the winter, and doesn't want to get out of the room. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I fully get that. My kettle is in my kitchen, but only because I'm fine with prepping stuff in the kitchen, and I live alone, so ultimately it's fine. I'm not going to be bothering anyone by getting up in the night to make a cuppa. So, yeah, I fully get that. I think, honestly, Linus, I think that's pretty good. That's a fair enough thing to have. I'm currently brewing a New York breakfast, so it's a black tea. Really, really nice. Really good with milk as well. It's like a cinnamony kind of tea. Very, very good. Like, since you've played Dead Space, if you played on Survivalist, which is the third hardest for 2, then sure, that wouldn't be the best of ideas, but you did complete all of Dead Space 1, so you aren't going to go into it blind. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got no issues with people playing on hard for the first time, but you do lose kind of that, the effort that went into making the game and the good visual components of it. Facing the challenge. Today's chat seems to have less delay. I just sent for 4 seconds and you be able to read. Yeah. Yeah. I may also be reading them faster because I'm just sitting here looking at chat. There are a multitude of possible scenarios as to why it's faster. But yeah. I'll be right back, everyone. I'll just go grab my tea. Hello, I'm back. I've got your tea right here, Zombie Slayer. Be careful, it's hot. No, that didn't make the right kind of sound. I wanted a better sound. A better sound of, like, a cup hitting. Hold on, I can do that. Hold on. There's your cup. Your mug. Bloody good tea. Bloody good tea. And then back to the drawing. Also, mouse, genuine question. What the hell is yak? Looks like a milk bottle sold at schools. Yeah, it's Yaki. It's a Yakult. So it's legally distinct. But it is meant to visualize Yakult, which is a probiotic drink that is very popular in Australia. Very popular amongst Australian kids. And when I was an Australian kid, I liked it. I think in one of my first streams, it became just a running joke that I drank a lot of it. So it just became a part of it. Yeah. Is that the shit you drink as an Aussie kid? One of them. We also had Up and Go, which is like just a milk drink that you could get in a carton. Not a carton, a juice box kind of thing. But it was like a milk drink, like Milo. We also drank Milo, which is like a chocolate powder. But it was supposed to be like an energy drink kind of like powder, but it had like a fuck ton of sugar in it. So, yeah. That's what Aussie kids drank. Very bad for us, but you know, I think we all drink and eat nasty garbage as kids. Unhealthy stuff. And is it like the main thing to drink as a kid? Like, oh, Mouse has a Yakult, lucky, I want some of it. Nah, that was so the main kind of drink that you wanted, like, as a kid, you really wanted to have an oak, which is chocolate milk, or strawberry milk, or whatever flavor of milk that you preferred. But you knew, like, the kid who had like an oak every day was like they were the kid who had rich parents. So you're just like, oh, nice. Or their mum or dad worked in the tuck shop or the cafeteria. Um, and like, sure, you had soft drinks and stuff like that, but as a kid, you didn't really get your hands on soft drinks a lot. So it was, yeah. Yakult was the kind of drink that kids had as like, it was a health drink basically. So no one was really like excited to have a Yakult. But they tasted okay. So is that like being the cool kid at lunch? Not really, because like you didn't share oaks. But you knew the kid was like came from money if they had an oak every day or something like that. Or they were just remarkably overweight. Um and so you like I never did this, but you would become friends with the richer kids because you knew that they had the hookup, the hookup of the the good stuff. And if they, they had birthday parties or stuff like that, you'd want to be at the birthday parties. Then the food was always really good, expensive, remarkably overweight. America's entered the chat. Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, yeah. It was oaks or what food did kids have that you were like that was like the win? Like if you had a certain type of fucking hell. If you had a certain type of food, what's the food currency to, so to speak, for Aussie kids? Yeah, that was the thing. So food currency, M&Ms, big thing. Especially like as a kid for me, Like I definitely like you could win my friendship with M&Ms as a kid. Nowadays it's more expensive. But yeah, definitely M&Ms. 'Cause those were sharing foods, so it was always sharing foods that were like a good currency. Um, and then the ones I remembered were if you had a friend in your group who always had really like, so this is my memory as a kid. We had a friend in our friendship circle who whose mum made him or got him really nice food, but he was a very picky eater. So he never wanted a lot of his stuff, so it was almost a race to make sure that you got what he had. And this included stuff like mini pizzas, but like cold mini pizzas that were just like cheese and pizza sauce, which was still great. Um, and things like that. Uh, yeah, but if you had sharing stuff, then it was like Smarties, M&Ms, Skittles, things like that. Speaking of food, candy, you always die laughing when you remember you saying, if I was told to swallow a whole gobstopper to save myself from a necromorph, I'd find a way to do it. Yeah, yeah, of course I would. I could, I mean, because you only live with that pain once, and then you don't have to die. Um, there were these foods, those candies called pods, um, which were these like chocolate things. Those were delicious, but you had like 10 pods in a bag, so not very many. So if you were, those were like high value. Never traded sandwiches. Like no one wanted someone else's sandwich. Well, you understand why I'd do it, but you never expected me to say you'd swallow. Yeah, pretty random, but you know, accurate. Random but accurate. I think I'm done with this. Oh, I do need to highlight, but almost done. Just, yeah, trying to think of school foods and stuff. Yeah, had a lot of like other kids. Because I pretty as even as a kid, I would eat pretty much anything, and that hasn't changed to this day. I've never had an issue with eating stuff. The only foods that I don't particularly like and actually won't eat are I almost said gobstoppers. Then I'd be a liar. No, uh, uh, so jelly or jello, as Americans refer to it, and sultanas or dried raisins, as they're also known as. I don't like the texture of uh, jelly or dried raisins. Something about them, just don't like it. But I used to pretty much eat anything, which was good because as a kid, I didn't have a whole lot of lunches either. Um, well, I didn't have very filling lunches. I'd get a sandwich, and that was about it. Maybe a juice once or twice. And so I was often, and this is an Australian term that I'm going to teach you, I was often trying to scab food off people. So I was that kid. At school, I was that kid. I was the kid who's like, "Oh, you're gonna eat that, mate? You're gonna eat that? I'm so fucking hungry, mate. Could eat. I could eat. I could eat. I could have it. You're not gonna eat it." That was me as a kid. I was that. I was the little scab. And so the Australian term is is called scab because you're trying to, mooch off of somebody, but we refer to it as scabbing. You're trying to scab off of them. Had severe allergies as a kid, thus you couldn't eat a lot of food, from pizza to cake to ice cream to just simple cheese. Oh shit. However, there is a good side, and that's when we had birthday parties. Yes, everyone had cake and pizza, but bitch, I've got the only bag of Funyuns here, and you guys have nothing, so fuck you. I'm double special VIP. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You're a scab? That's hilarious. Yeah, I was a bit of a scab. Bit of a scab. In high school, definitely. I just didn't have food. Didn't have enough food for a growing boy. A growing mouse. So I would just, yeah, scab off my friends. And I remember once, my friend was like, no, I'm going to eat this, like, mini pizza. I'm actually going to eat it this time. Because he often wouldn't. And I was like, oh, I'm so fucking hungry, mate. I'm so fucking hungry. And as he was biting into it, I just, like, leaned up beside him and took a big old bite out of it while he was taking a bite out of it. And it freaked him out. It freaked him out so much that he gave me the rest of it. That was a win. That was a win for the Grey Mouse. You can imagine me as a medieval peasant, like, oh good kind sir, I met from math class. If you'd be so kind to give me a piece of your meal, I'd be eternally grateful. Yeah, I was pretty much like that in high school. Was often very hungry, and I often didn't have enough food. Because I had a immensely quick metabolism. I played basketball. I was 6'2". Yeah, I was 6'1" by year 7, so I was a tall kid. Damn, sorry, mass. Shit sucks. It is what it is, you know. It is what it is. I was, yeah, super tall and lanky. I was always really hungry because my metabolism was crazy fast, and it still kind of is to this day. Um, and I would scab food a lot. I was often very hungry. And for a very long time, my best friend's mum used to work at the tuck shop cafeteria. And she was always so lovely to me. She always knew that I was constantly hungry, so she would often get me food and stuff like that, which was very kind of her. Hold up, you were 6'2" back then? How tall am I now? I'm now 8'7". That is a joke. For legal reasons, that is a joke. By year 7, I was about 6'1". So now, that was pretty much my growth spurt. I'm now about 6'2". Which I'm actually genuinely really happy that I didn't get any taller. Because 6'2" is a good height. I consider 6'2" a good height. Any taller than that, then you're going to start having development defects. So, I'm happy with 6'2". And your friend's mum gave you a fuckload of candy since it was one of the only candies you could eat. So, haha, fuck you. The rest of your friends. That's a pretty good deal. I'll admit that's a pretty good deal. Well, not a pretty good deal, but it works, right? Being in a plane would suck if you're too tall. Yeah, exactly. It's already pretty rough as it is. Like, I'm not a huge fan of flying in planes just because my knees already touch the back seat. So if people recline, then I'm gonna be in for a very uncomfortable trip. Uh, and it's just, yeah, just nasty. I've had people recline their seats into my knees before, and I fucking hated it, and I hated them as well. And I hated them for it. They were bastards. and you don't want to share, then too fucking bad. You guys can eat everything. I can only eat this, so no, I will not share, bitches. Very fair. Honestly, fair. I had friends who had a lot of dietary requirements and stuff like that, and it is very much that case. It's just like I had a friend with peanut allergies, and so we had to make sure things didn't have peanuts in it for him to eat, and that can be concerning because a lot of places do not give a fuck about people with peanut allergies, which is shocking because it's one of the like oldest allergies that we've known about, really. Like one of the most common allergies that we have, and people are just like, "Nah, fuck you, die." It's fucked. If it means anything, you're almost as tall as a Spartan from Halo. They're 6'10", not in armor, but 7'2" in armor. Holy shit. That's super tall. I have a coworker who's about 6'5", and they're fucking huge. They're just too tall. At a certain point, you're just too tall. I'll tell you what. I had my manager come up. Well, I was like doing something, and my manager came up to me, and I was standing for this. So just get that image in your head. I was standing up, and she goes, "Oh, Gray, you're a lot shorter than you're a lot shorter when you're standing up." And I'm just like, how the fuck do I respond to that? Also, she's like 5 foot, so it's like it's such a weird thing to say to somebody. I was like, what the fuck? Certain people today would agree to disagree with being too tall. No, you can definitely be too tall. After a certain point, you actually start to have. After about 6'4", you start to have growth issues. So medically speaking, there is a too tall. Because yeah, at 6'5", once you get to a certain age, your cartilage decays quicker and things like that, and that's not great. That's not fun. Yeah, absolutely. Other people would definitely disagree. Like, I fully know that. I know that for sure. Those 5'5" girls who are like, no, I need a man who's 6'7". And it's like, you wouldn't know what to do with someone that height. Sorry. Sorry, ma'am. That's just how it is. Yeah, I can read your mind, Zombie Slayer. Yeah. Like, yeah, I fully know and I get what you mean. I get that sense, and I'm just like, no, it's really bad for you to be that tall. You're gonna be sad. You will, I guarantee, regret that. Maybe in the future. That's what you meant by other people. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I get you. I am glad I am at a height where I'm not. I've never been told I'm not tall enough. I've only been told I'm not cool enough. Isn't it like 1% of men 6'1" and above, like an abnormally small number? I don't. Oh God. Maybe. I don't know if it's definitely not 1%, but it could. I think it is a minority. I mean, it's height, and height isn't variable across cultures, so I would be almost certain that it is probably. I mean, it is almost certainly in a minority. But yeah, because I've heard ladies today say they only date 6'4" men or something incredibly small. Yeah, that's insanity. Some people are fucking weird. Eh, I mean, it's okay to reach for the stars, but if you're like if you're 5'5" and you're looking for a 6'4" man, you're not gonna get that. Because no, like, here's the thing. With tall guys, they don't want to date girls who will hurt their back. Who they'll have to hurt their back to be with. They don't want that. Fuck! Forgot that's all shadow. If that's a thing, then I'll only date the women with the biggest tits, otherwise don't try. That alone just sounds stupid. Yeah, it's that double standard that exists. You know, but also to be fair, the women who say that are also a minority. Because the vast majority of women are lovely. All about statistics. It's like we see a lot more of that now, but that's because a lot of social media pushes that kind of wave. The vast majority of women do not give a shit about stuff like that at all. So yeah, it just should never be worried about stuff like that. Oh, should save. How are we doing for time? Pretty good, honestly. Do I want to get onto the next one? Yeah, it's the silent majority perspective is everything. Oh yeah, absolutely. And the vocal minority kind of thing really does skew perception of issues. Mouse, have I been told stuff like that from ladies today? No. Only because I've been home all day. No woman has come in to my house and told me that I'm too short. I've never been told I'm too short. So that should actually be a good place to start. I've never been told I'm too short. Also, a good thing that I may as well bring up now is I'm a bass. Wow, my vocal ability completely collapsed. I am a bisexual man. None of my relationship partners have ever told me that I am too short. I've never been told I'm too short. People do not care about that stuff. Good people do not care about that stuff. Because you're sure a lot of women don't give a fuck about it, but they don't say it since they're too busy not giving a fuck about height. And then they'll talk about it when it comes up. Yeah, maybe. And I think a lot of it is a weird way it's a confidence thing or a self-esteem thing, and then it only becomes an issue if the person is an asshole about it, has an issue about height, so it's a self-esteem issue from them. Or if you are feeling self-conscious about your height and being in a relationship with someone and not doing it justice because you are a certain height, then that can make things difficult, or it can become more prevalent as an issue because you are self-conscious of it. But I know plenty of short guys who have gotten the girl or the guy, and it's because they've never been concerned. They're like, well, I'm 5'7", that's 5'5", that's absolutely okay. Some woman rejects me because I'm too short. Cool. They've lost out on a pretty great guy, and that's on them. Just don't be bitter about it as well. I think if you're ever rejected, don't be bitter about it. I think that's always a really good sign. Yeah, some ladies love the confidence of just not giving a fuck. Exactly. You know, if you're short, there's nothing you can do to change it. It's not a bad thing. There's always benefits to stuff like that. You get too tall, your kneecaps collapse at like the age of 45. That sucks. You know? You're too tall. Like if you're the wrong, not the wrong kind of tall, because there's no wrong kind of tall, but like there are certain different types of tall. And you don't know why they rejected you. What if they had a shitty day? Yeah, exactly. It's pretty good reason to want to be left alone. Yeah, exactly. And one thing I've been told by women that I know and stuff like that, sometimes um, the biggest sign that you're actually a good guy is that you take a rejection well. And we're not necessarily saying just like you ask them out on a date and they say no, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe that's probably not. You never know where it may lead, but like ultimately, a man who can handle rejection well um, is often seen quite positively. So, admittedly, what's the worst that can happen? As long as they don't tase you or call the cops on you, then no is pretty good. Like, that's fine. Like, yeah. I think, truth be told, you get rejected. It's fine. You'll find somebody. It's just a matter of time. You dedicate, this is one saying that I have, and it's a positivity saying that I have. One saying that I have is that if you are determined, then it is only a matter of time. And it just implies that if you feel passionate about something and you want something um, enough, then it is only a matter of time before you achieve it. Your brother, for some reason, thinks I have to be a 6'4" Giga Chad to ask out ladies or something to that effect, and despite me not dating, that's objectively wrong. Yeah, absolutely. It's where you derive your perspective from. And a lot of social media right now is kind of forcing that ideal on a lot of people. Not sure why. Well, I do know why, but like it's it's a perspective that you kind of just got to ignore sometimes. Matter of time and you putting yourself out there. Yeah, absolutely. Also, don't waste your time with people you know you'll waste your time with. Yeah, exactly. If you want to pursue something important or something that you want strongly, you got to put the effort in. But also, you got to be kind to yourself as well. It's very easy to be negative or fall into a spiral of negativity with stuff like that. So, yeah, you'll get rejected. And like, you'll be awkward. That's a guarantee. In your life, you're guaranteed to be awkward. That's okay. No one cares. No one will care about you being awkward. They'll remember you for how you made them feel. And I mean, admittedly, if you made them cringe 3 ways sideways, then maybe that's a bit rough. But hey, you don't have to remember that either. And they won't either. Sure, you being short doesn't help, but if you made a girl finish cheering fun times, then one of them is bound to be more interested or something of the sort. Yeah, exactly. There are a great deal more aspects that make up a happy coupling. Height, not really one of them. In the long run, height's not one of them. You have to learn how to make it happen, but you're sure you could do it, but you have no time for that. You just must hold off the hordes of Mordor and defend Gondor. I mean, that's valiant work in and of itself. You'll find time. You will. One of these things. One of these things. But you hear people go, "I'll just work on you," and stuff like that, and that can be annoying. Yeah. But stuff falls into place. I wouldn't worry. That one was actually pretty good, so I'm actually a little disappointed that I got rid of it. There we go. There we go. A duck. Mouse, if you know anything about US ladies, would you say it's easier, harder to date Australian ladies? M is supposed to be a question mark. Okay, good to know. If I know anything about US ladies, that I know a little bit, vaguely. So, one thing is that American ladies love an accent. As long as, actually, no, I'm not going to say that. They love an accent, and I've been told many times that Australians do quite well. They do, that is quite true, yeah. They love an accent. It's not so much a cultural difference. Australian women are just women, you know, and so are American women. So there's not too much to derive like difference from. It's also like easier slash harder is that's a complicated term. I think because ultimately speaking, it's people. Is it true Australian women swear a lot? Depends on the woman. Depends on the Australian woman. Hey, Sir Kittyums, how you doing? As yeah, some Australian women do swear a lot. That's fine. Half of the course, a lot of Australian men swear a lot. How you doing? Welcome to my chat. So, what if they swear? I've just heard that's a thing Australian women do a lot. Long time lurker, just chiming in for a funny moment. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. If they, you know, it's just classic Australian behavior. So I wouldn't think too much on it. Uh, Zombie Slayer. I know, I've seen you around before. Funny catching you here. It's currently drawing some ducks with arrows in them. Not actual ducks. Target ducks. Just go through the motions of like... just go through the motions like, how'd you find me? I know how you found me, Sir Kitty Ams. Don't let me bother you. Keep up the awesome doodles. Just gonna resume. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know how you got here. These are good emotes. Yeah, where'd you get them? And another streamer that you, I assume, right? Another art streamer. Oh, cool. Nice. I just looked down and I saw it said this draft ratchet. He looks so fucking high. Looks so zooted. That's cool. This line work done. I could probably get the colors and shadows and stuff done. This stream. That'd be cool. Correction, there's only one art streamer on Twitch and we call him Sigramos, third Lord of the Admiralty and the first Divine Holy One who has a seat on the Senate of Gamers. Jesus. A lot of titles. I don't know this Grey Mass guy. But Zombie Slayer speaks very highly of them. Should really be probably 4. I'm gonna leave it at 2. Fuck it. Fuck it. Who cares? Really not. Can't force myself to just do it and change things on the fly. Draft. The one you always raid but never can. Obviously, it's him. Yeah. Sweet. Right. Be close. I always try to raid, yes. That guy, yeah. Heard of him, maybe. Been around. Yeah. They quite consistently mentioned streamer, but we can never manage to raid him in time. He's always busy, I think. Mouse, what topics do you know the most about? What? What topics do I know the most about? I don't fucking know. No, I don't, like... I don't know, like, I wouldn't say topics I know the most about. I like to cook. I like drawing. I like stuff like that. I know a lot about, mushrooms and some plants. Few insects. Few insect facts. I know stuff like that. Know the most about. That's hard to quantify. I think personally, that's a hard thing for me to quantify. Would you consider doing trivia awards for stuff I know a lot about, like 500 points per mass to say something cool about Dishonored or whichever you're the most knowledgeable on? Yes, indeed, I've met this grey mass before, yes. Yeah, I'd be down to do something like that. I've got a reviews space currently, but I think, yeah, I could possibly potentially do something like that. I could also get just like a trivia book and read out trivia, but I'd be happy to do facts about stuff. But it's about 3 hours, so I might leave it there. Make sure I save. We made some pretty good progress. We finished one panel. Well, we finished 2 panels actually, so that's actually really good. Oh, thingies. But I might, I might leave it at that. And we will set up to raid out. Finishing now, so you're just leaving me here? Probably, yeah. Yeah, probably. But I'll be back soon. I want to get back to my regular, Jesus Christ, what's going on with my brain? Regular stream schedule. So I'll be back on Tuesday. Some more art. And also, like I said, taking breaks from work. So I'll be, depending on when that starts, one of the Mondays soon will be a full-time stream. So that'll be really good. But with that said, let's get ready to raid out. Tuesday, okay, fine. Ugh, I'll see you then. Yeah. I'll see you then. Plus, we gotta figure out who to raid. Organized Chaos, there's Nev. There's Mr. Mao. Oh. Hold on. Nice to have been here. Yes. Lucky you. He's a very cool dude. Hey. Hey. Thanks for the stream. Next time, catch you next time, Sakidiums. Greymouse, you said you'd raid him when you were talking in Discord. You said, will do, raid Greymouse. I mean, I will. Doesn't seem to be online. Tragique. Alright. Alright, we got Nev, Mr. Mao, and Organized Chaos. Did you have receipts saying you'd raid him? You have proof, Your Honor. Yeah, I know, but I'm also in charge. I'm the big guy. I'm the big mouse here on this stream. Let's jump into Organized Chaos. They're nice guys. I haven't. You're a really big guy, both literally and figuratively. Yes, that's true. But we're going to jump into Organized Chaos. They're playing Dark Souls Remastered, so let's give them all our love. But with that, I will see you all next time. Bye.